As I hid deep in the rose bushes, I could hear my heart racing. The ground was damp and the night was dark and misty. I waited for a couple of minutes, trying to seek out the sound of his footsteps. I tried to calm my breathing as sweat poured down the bridge of my nose. I was scared stiff. I didn't know if I should run, scream, or stay hidden. Then it started to rain. I was cold and shaking with fear. Suddenly, I heard a rustle amongst the trees. Holding my breath, I prayed the moonlight would not break through the clouds onto me. A flash of lightning startled me. However, I caught a glimpse of the wild man standing 10 feet away with his back to me. He was holding a long, shiny object at his side, and he was gasping for air. I slowly and quietly crouched back down to where I could no longer watch his move. Meanwhile, out in the distance, I heard a slurred voice call out a name. It was unclear, but not my own. It must have been the man's name because he ran into the direction of the sound. As he ran, I listened after him. He was gone. I was nervous. There, I made the decision to go. I surveyed the area for the best place to step when my eyes came upon a tree about 15 yards away. The tree looked easy to climb, so after making my last ear check, I took off limping from my injured left leg. I barely made it to the tree when I slipped and fell into a mud hole. With the mud dripping off my fiery red hair, I slid out of the hole and crawled the last 2 feet to the tree. Pulling myself to safety, I found a crevice about 18 feet up in the tree's branches. I rested, listening to the rain slapping against the forest in an unsteady rhythm. I peered out of my hiding place and watched a man frantically search around the bushes I was once in. He couldn't have seen me if he tried. I was camouflaged by the help of the woods. My survival skills started to come back to me. I was prepared for the worst. Out of control, he investigated the area for any trace of me. As he wandered away from the roses, I fell back into my nest and took a breath of fresh air. I must have fallen asleep because when I awoke, the rain had stopped and the light of the moon shone down on the evergreen's floor. I heard 2 men arguing way out in the distance. I knew this would be my only chance to escape to safety, so I picked myself up out of the hole and slid down the trunk of the tree. I sprinted, pulling my leg along in the opposite direction of the voices. Stumbling through bushes and branches, my body was tearing to shreds. I was almost there, closer to my destination, when out behind a tree jumped the man. Searching for my bloody, scratched arms, I let out a shriek and fell backwards. I weakly pulled myself back as he casually strolled up to me with a frightening smirk on his face. Shining the flashlight at me, he grabbed my shoulder and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Tag, you're it!" Thank you for listening to the story I wrote in the 3rd grade. I thought it was a perfect little story to share with you guys. I just edited 1 or 2 little words out of this, but I kept all the descriptive elements within it and thought it was a cute story to share with you. Have a great day.